This video is actually a lot harder to make than a lot of you understand. But I wanted to just summarize this trial so that you don't have to watch the hours of highlights and footage, just so that everyone has a better short understanding of basically what happened in a short form. All the information I'm going to give you and all the details I'm going to give you today are based off of the witness testimony given in trial this week. Let's just start off with the beginning of the night when Wade Wilson and his ex-girlfriend go to the bar with her friend, and they leave in a relatively new Camaro that is his ex-girlfriend's car. That is a manual transmission. And then Wade's ex-girlfriend and her friend choose to leave and go to a different bar. Wade stays behind and meets another gentleman, and him and that gentleman meet a couple girls and that are friends. And then Wade then decides to take his girlfriend's car without her permission, so he steals her car and acts like it's his car. And they go back when the bar closes at 2, and they go back to the gentleman's house that he met. And apparently Wade and the female had intercourse throughout the rest of the evening until it was time to leave. And apparently Wade could not drive the car, did not know how to drive a manual transmission car, or the wording was he did not know how to drive a car. And long story short, they end up Ubering Wade Wilson and the two females back to the female's house that he was having intercourse with. And according to her friend, she left at 7 a.m. and then had to go to work, as well as the gentleman. And apparently, of course this is actually what happened, when she went to sleep, Wade Wilson choked her to death and then stole her car and called his girlfriend and said, "Hey, I'd like to meet up." She's like, "Give me my car back." And he's like, "Okay, I'll meet you at your work." Apparently she owns a business, like a beauty salon of some sort or something like that. Irrelevant. But so she gets there and he is sitting in not her car, and she doesn't know whose car it is. She walks up to the car. Wade is at first trying to be kind of polite and get her to come in the car, but quickly snaps, trying to pull her into the car. And she prevents that from happening, and Wade assaults her viciously. A crowd of people, start to form, and he takes off. The police are dispatched and called, and they found Wade Wilson sitting in a parking lot. And the cop walks up to him, and at the time the cop says and testifies that they only had a misdemeanor domestic assault on him. They said to Mr. Wade Wilson, "Sir, you are detained. You're not under arrest. I need you to step out of the vehicle." Wade Wilson just continued to flee, and the guy pursued him very, very shortly and said he did not continue to pursue him because of the charges. It was a crowded time, around lunchtime, he said. And now, at this point, Wade Wilson's been up for well over 24 hours, using alcohol and cocaine, admittedly. He then goes back to the guy's house that he met that night. And he tells the guy, "Hey, I just killed this girl. I just beat my girlfriend, assaulted my girlfriend, blah, 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 blah." And the guy says, "Okay, here's a cigarette, calm down. I gotta go pick up a worker, and I'll be right back." And he leaves, and he calls 911. Then, by the time they get there, Wade Wilson's gone, but the car's still there. There's 2 phones in the car, and there was blood stains in the car. But Wade Wilson's missing still. Wade Wilson had fled and called his father and told his father, and let me explain to you about that. Before I tell you what he said to his father, the father that he called is his biological father, not the one that raised him. Wade Wilson was adopted at a very, very young age into a very, very normal, nice family, loving family. And at 18, he decided he wanted to get in contact with his biological father, and this is the father that he contacted. he called his father and he said, "Dad, he just murdered somebody." Da da da. Pretty much what he told the first neighbor. And then he gets off the phone with his dad. His dad calls the police. The police then eventually get Mr. Wade Wilson, but not before. While driving that car, he asked someone walking to work to get into for directions, and she got in the vehicle, and he choked her to death. It's very, very sad and unfortunate. Appreciate it if you like and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.